Oh God, I was trying to film before and I started crying and then I started going on and on and on. And so this is this is the intro. 6 weeks out. Yesterday was a phenomenal day. Then I'll talk about the numbers and the lifts after this, but I really needed it. Prep was not going the way I thought it would. It's going great, actually. I'm not hurt. I'm hitting the numbers I'm supposed to, but like there's this certain like momentum you feel sometimes where you just feel like a Superman, right? And I've not had that feeling this prep, which is okay. That's normal. That's completely fine. I was not worried that I wasn't going to make it to the meet or that I was going to bomb. Like nothing like that. But like I wasn't instilled with that sense of like I am who I am. Like I am here to do this. This is everything is what it is supposed to be. And so yesterday really proved that, you know what? Like the last 6 weeks, the good ones, the bad ones, like it all led up to that. It all culminated in that, and it's only going to keep getting better. So just keep trusting in what you're doing. You're clearly doing things right, and I think like that's a very rewarding feeling, especially for me as someone with like a high degree of anxiety. And you know, I went to a picnic after. It was a couple friends and their dog, and we were at the botanical gardens, which just being in nature, being in the shade, eating, enjoying food, I mean that's always good. I think you should always take a step away from everything else just to be outside, just to be around people you love and care about. And you know, they have their own problems going on, and like I've reached out to them individually to say like, no matter what, I got you, you know. And I do hope they believe me. I think they do. But the kind of topic came up. One of them asked me, she's just asking like, what is it about that like that you like so much? Because she doesn't train, and it's always fun to be around those people because one, you feel that you're like, I'm fucking stronger than these people. No, I'm kidding, I don't do that, but like you have to really think about like those things and be like, well, what do I actually enjoy about this process? And like the answer I came to is like the overwhelming emotional state I put myself into for those sets, that split second. I mean, it's rewarding because I feel like I'm in control, and you know, like I'm not going to delve into my own like issues or traumas, but like the sense of being in control is hugely important. But the other thing is like that moment when I tap into that space, like I'm not anxious anymore. I'm a little fearful, but I'm not like talking in my head, and it's nice. It's quiet. It's just here. It's now. And I can't speak enough volumes about how important that is for me to just have that moment. And you know, then after you think, you know, after you complete it successfully, you know, you sit there and you think, okay, thank you to the people around me who are keeping me safe. Thank you to the people who allow me to do this. Thank you for the support, the cheers, like all that stuff. Like that stuff's important, and I think like we can get carried away with not considering that. Like, sure, it's you performing, but like there's people around you who care about you and want to see you do well, and you should express that to them. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a powerful experience for me. I can't speak highly enough about those situations. And you know, like I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about it, because for me, like there's just something about that moment where I'm no longer myself, and in that sense, I mean, like I'm not overwhelmed with the sort of standards or expectations that everyone else places upon myself or that I place upon me. The sort of ideological constraints I put myself in, the ego, the facades, like it's just you and the weight, and what you is very interesting, very much in that moment, right? Like, what does it mean to be in that moment, right? I can't tell you, I can't give you the language, but it's powerful for me. And the other thing is the weight doesn't care. Like the weight is just asking one question: did you prepare enough to do this? And even when you didn't, the weight doesn't say you're a failure. It just says okay, you need to rework your steps. Like it is not a personal fail. Like you shouldn't walk away from a missed rep or a missed set and say I'm a personal fuck up. You just say okay, I gotta like rework it. And for me, like that's a relieving experience because I know when I would play sports and I'd fuck up, I'd put so much pressure on myself, and it was bad. And this is something where like when it's successful, it feels great. And I'm starting to wander on, but I mean, I really do love this shit so much. Like that feeling, like it's just awesome. I've made a lot of really good friends from it. I've had super wonderful memories. I remember one time I got done. I was hungover as fuck, and I just said I told my coach at the time, and he still owns the gym where I was at yesterday, and I said I just need to come in and hit something heavy, and he pulled me aside, and we talked about it, and basically he said we're gonna do it because you asked to do it, but you've got to stop doing this to yourself. Like people care about you. And obviously, I know that, but that was a super powerful thing. And for someone to say, I believe in you, you're better than this, I mean, that was fantastic. That's not something I've had. I'm super grateful for all the experiences where I got to go train with my brother, even if he was an asshole. Like, I love my brother, Mike. We did not get along all that often. I was a shit talker. He, he's emotionally dysregulated. No, I'm kidding. I'd beat the shit out of me too if I was a kid. But no, seriously. I mean, I'm grateful for that. There's just so much to be profoundly grateful for, and like those moments, like yesterday, where you just say I'm here, and I'm doing what I came to do, and you lock in, and there's this nothingness. I mean, that's awesome. That's all I can say. It was a fantastic fucking day. Like, I'm trying not to tear up again because I started crying, and I'm an ugly fucking crier. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Um, I'll put in some accessory work, but really we all came for the heavy shit. So, I'll try and limit that shit to the more important stuff. But man, I feel fantastic. I look like shit and I feel like shit, but mentally I feel fantastic. And, that's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So, doing some push-ups with a slightly extended range of motion on the plates and with two orange bands. I really do like push-ups. I hate doing push-ups with bands when I don't have parallel bars or some way to tie them in for an easier setup. They just don't feel good on my hands, like on my wrists. And then the plates I don't like because I can't keep my hands flat, but definitely needed more band tension and a deeper range of motion to make those a little bit harder. But I really do like push-ups. It feels great on the shoulder to get it moving. And so there wasn't any other accessory footage because for some reason it just didn't film. But here's my last double on squats from yesterday. This is a 55-pound squat bar, so you'll only see 6 plates on there, but it's 595. Uh, it is fantastic. I'm gonna hit it for a double here. The first one I was like, ooh, okay, maybe a little high. The second one I was like, all right, gotta sink this a little bit more than I did. And then from there, you can't really make any big complaints. I mean, maybe I should have done a little heavier, especially with the way the first one moved. But my QL and my ankle have been bugging me, so I was like, let's take the lifetime PR and just fucking call it. And so then we have a nice little 355 bench here, and I said, fuck it, let's go 375. On the 375, I would have liked the pauses to have been a little bit longer. But can't complain. Everything looked really dialed in and felt dialed in. I think the pause here was better. Yeah, that was better. And then, got it